Hall of Fame, well done, Paul Heyman. And also, we need to say well done to Bull Nakano or Bull
Yep.
Nakano, however you want to pronounce it. And I was thinking, would you have met her anywhere? And you and Bull Nakano were in the WWF for a few months together. And I had not really put two and two together until the research that today. And did you ever speak to her? Do you have any memories of her? Bull Nakano.
Well, I do remember meeting her, and she walked up to me and she said hello, and I was trying to say hello in Japanese, and she made fun of it. So I just slapped the hell out of her. I don't know why I did. No, I do remember her being there, and I just remember pleasantries between us. Hello, excuse me, or but I never really talked to her because there's no need to really. I met her and said I introduced myself, and she did, and that's just professional courtesy. But I always liked her work because even when you read anything about Japanese girl wrestling, her name was in there. So, and I'd always heard about her, saw her work a little bit, and she was good. She was tough.
With that being said, it's like women's professional wrestling are like light years ahead in Japan compared to the United States. But Bull Nakano and Medusa, a couple of the first women in the States to actually do some proper hard hitting, wrestling like the men kind of things. There were others before them, but they had like a big long feud. Just to add to this, Bull said about her induction during my active years, I was able to get championship belts in Japan, America, and Mexico. But just one thing was missing. I didn't get inducted into the Hall of Fame. I wanted this finally in 2024 in WrestleMania week. I'm able to get this. And I tell you what, she was, as you said, like Nia Jax, heavy sets, we'll say at the time, but she could really move, very strong and everything. When she left the business, I think she injured her back. She then became briefly a pro golfer. She wasn't a very good pro golfer, but she became a pro golfer afterwards. She lost a ton of weight and she's stunning. Like she's in her 50s. She's gorgeous looking woman. So like,
Really,
after she left wrestling, she just dropped all the weight. And like of all the people who've left the business and sort of just improved in that sense, she looks amazing
let me
in
ask you
that
about
sense.
Japan. How many organizations do they have over there?
Now you're asking. I mean, like major. I mean, there's like New Japan, All Japan, Noah, DDT. There's tons of indies. There's tons of smaller organizations, but there's All Japan Women. Is it All Japan Women? Stardom. That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's tons.
Well, she came along at a time, and see, they were used to wrestling with actual wrestlers. So they didn't follow the WWE model of like strippers
Like like cat
pretending to,
fights and hair pulls and
and the girls all look good in WWF. It's like you went to a strip club, really. But see, in Japan, they didn't do that. They went out there and they worked for their money, and then people associate Nakano, that's what I call her, with women's pro wrestling. Like, she didn't have the look that the girls have now, but she didn't need it. It's a different fan base, totally. I think if they'd have went out there and they'd have done, this is in Japan, if they'd have done like WWE has done sometimes with the girls in the ring, getting them half naked and doing this, I think the Japanese people would have turned them off.